Hey, what's up, guys? It's Rob from Buttendz here. First off, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the channel. It means a lot, and we really appreciate you guys checking us out and checking out our videos and following us online. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. That would be sweet. For today's video, this morning I was at the Harbor Center in downtown Buffalo. I was there watching the pro skate in the morning while those guys are getting tuned up for the season, getting ready to go. We got a couple guys this year using Buttendz grips that are switching over, so I wanted to be there for, take some pictures, do some videos, and be there to troubleshoot anything if need be. So I'm real hands-on with those guys. And while I was there, a couple of the guys from the Buffalo Junior Sabres who were there for camp, they recognized me and came over, and we started talking, and they were interested in the product and the grips, and they wanted to know a lot about my hockey career as a local kid in Buffalo, growing up and starting a company, and it gave me the idea to do an Ask Me Anything. So I put it out on Snapchat, and I asked everybody on Snapchat to send me some questions, and I would answer the best ones I could on YouTube. So what I decided to do was go through the DMs and basically try to answer them all and see what comes of it. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks again for checking us out. We really appreciate it. It's awesome for subscribing, and hope you enjoy the video. Here we go. All right, so here's the Ask Me Anything. First question, Waffle Kid 0021. He wants to know, what's the best way to train for hockey? That's complicated. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to train. I mean, everybody's got to find their right thing. I'm going to answer this question assuming that the kid who asked me is 12 or 13 years old, and this can work for any hockey player. Sight unseen, the best thing for hockey players that they need to do is get as strong as they can in the core aspects of their body, and most importantly in their leg strength. So every kid that ever asked me about workouts and what to do, I would say the best thing to focus on as a young hockey player is get good at pull-ups, push-ups, body squats. Those are 3 easy things that you can do at home, on the road, in hotel rooms, pretty much anywhere. All you got to do is be motivated each day to practice it. And if you can get really good and get in a good habit of working out on those types of exercises, it's going to translate into the future for you, and you're going to be strong on the ice as a skater. You're going to have flexibility and mobility, and if your body weight's strong, you're going to be able to, basically dominate your peers. Because I played hockey growing up with grown men who, couldn't even do one pull-up when we got to college. So if you can start early and excel at those body weight exercises, again, pull-ups, push-ups, body squats, I think that's a really good way to focus yourself as a young athlete and a young hockey player. So good question, Waffle Kid 0021. Okay, let's keep going then. What new products are coming out from Buttendz? So good question. We just released Twirl 88 this year in February, and so this is the first full hockey season that Twirl 88's been going, and it's so far it's been really good. I mean, it's so fun to see people using the product. This morning I'm at the rink at the Harbor Center, and there's a bunch of guys on the ice using them, and it's really cool to see. For new products, we're definitely going to be evolving as a company, hopefully, and growing and working on new things. So we have some ideas for some new shape grips that we definitely want to work on. We definitely want to expand into our lacrosse business more. So we've been working, a full season and a half or so in lacrosse. So we want to definitely come out with some innovative stuff there. We recently just came out and started selling the top handle grip for lacrosse sticks, which is cool. And for hockey, again, we want to focus on adding to the arsenal that we already have of different, shapes of grips so that players can feel that certain style that they like. So that's what I would say to look out for. As far as the date goes, I'm not 100% sure, but it should be pretty exciting this year to see what players are using what and who we can work with moving forward. So DJ Bridge 2, that was pretty sick, huh? Kings 068 said, what is your favorite stick coming out this upcoming year? I got 2 favorite sticks right now that I'm using. And they're right behind me here. I got the STX Surgeon RX2, which I got at a trade show in Phoenix from those guys. It's Reed Boucher's twig. It's a 75 flex with a massive hook, and it's a pretty sweet stick. I really like that pure grip underneath too. And then I still love, of course, my Zeal PK1000 that they hooked me up with, which is awesome. It's got the red flux on it. Yep. You can't go wrong. Either of those 2 twigs are nasty. That's what I would recommend. Nice question. What else we got here? Okay. Francisco.9103 said, what was the hardest part of starting Buttendz? It's a good question. So the hardest part of starting Buttendz, I think, was the actual process of knowing what needed to be done in the beginning to get the idea moving, because frankly I had this idea for Buttendz, whatever that really meant, in 2006, and we didn't come out with a product as a company until 2013. So there was many years there of like trying to figure out what it was that I even wanted to build. And it really was my partner Kevin, who as soon as we came together, he was my best friend growing up, Kevin Lonergan. We became business partners, and we basically came together and built the product in 2013, and that's kind of how it got started. So again, like the hardest part was just knowing, once you have an idea for something, then how do you actually execute it? And that's probably the hardest thing. And if you ever have questions about that stuff, definitely hit me up for more details on Snapchat, and I'll try to talk you through things. If you guys have ideas and stuff, I love talking business, so just let me know. Good question, buddy. Let me get a sip of tea here. All right, we got B.Mason06. Tips on starting a successful business. Hey, so pretty much the same kind of question. What's my tip? I mean, my tip, if you want to go into business for anything, make sure it's something that you like love to not necessarily do, but that you love the essence of it. Like for me, I'm a hockey player. I love hockey. So going into the hockey business is great because I'm always around hockey. So I'm always invigorated to keep working, because for me now, like I get to be in hockey every day, and so that's my work, but it doesn't really feel like work necessarily because I love hockey. If you're working on something that you don't necessarily love completely, I can see how it can be tough, because the amount of work that goes into starting a business is crazy. Like I literally wake up every morning and my mind starts thinking about Buttendz, and I don't stop thinking about it until I go to sleep every night. So it's literally all day, every single day. But I love hockey and I love what I do, so it's good. So it's fun. So I hope that helps. But yeah, thanks, man. Burndan28 said, what year did you start Buttendz? 2013 was when we formed the company. I had the idea for Buttendz in 2006. I started telling people like, hey, I'm going to start this company called Buttendz. But this was like way back when I was playing at Merrimack. So the year we started as a business was 2013, and we sold our first Buttendz grip in Buffalo, New York in March of 2014 was when we had our first sale. I remember I was at Buff State hockey rink, and after practice I had like a bag full of samples, and I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember I sold it to him. I showed him on my stick, he bought one, and he asked me, is this the first sale? And I said, yeah, and off we were, off and running. So thanks, bud. Andrew_Wilson8, what made you want to make Buttendz? So that's, again, goes back to me being a hockey player. I was at Merrimack. I was using tape like everybody else, but sticks started to evolve a lot while I was there. So when I started at Merrimack, I was using a wood stick, and then it transitioned to a 2-piece carbon fiber stick with a wood blade, and then I had a 2-piece carbon fiber and also carbon fiber blade, and then the 1-piece and the Easton Synergy came out. And so the sticks were evolving like crazy, but everybody was still using tape and basically just slapping tape on and creating knobs. And I was really picky as a player, and I would go out for practice in the pre-practice to try to work on my shot. And my gloves were dry, and I'd have this sticky tape on there, and the tape would be too sticky and my hand wouldn't move. And then I would try to wet my gloves and get them wet, and like wet the tape to try to get a better feel. And basically I just couldn't find the best feel with tape, so I would always be complaining. And then honestly, man, taking the tape off of the stick was a real nightmare. I started to ask other guys and like kind of observe the locker room tendencies of other players, and I noticed that like I wasn't the only one that thought this stuff. Like everybody in the locker room thought it was a pain to retape your knob and take tape off. So guys just left tape on there, and then if you walk around the rinks, you see everywhere you go, the people that aren't using Buttendz grips, they have disgusting moldy tape on their stick, and I was just like, that's just awful. So I thought this would be a really good idea to create something better for me that I would like, and then it would naturally improve everybody else's game because everybody else is stuck using tape still. So that made me want to do it, and then I started to think, wow, this is a pretty good idea. And of course, having a hockey company is something that every hockey kid at some point, I think maybe not everyone, but I dreamt about as a kid. I thought it was so cool, being a business in hockey. And I'm like, oh wait, this is an opportunity to stay in the game and work in the game and change it for the better. And that's why we started it, basically. Thanks, man. Good question. All right, we're rolling. Black Dot Hawks with a Z. After hockey game or practice, what do you suggest to eat? Interesting. So yeah, I mean, diet obviously is very important, and I'll be honest with you. As a player, I did not have a good diet, and I think looking back on it is one of the things that like I can definitely point to and say it was a place where I lacked, and it might have cost me in the long run. So I think watching your diet is important. So to answer the question, if I had to pick one meal of a post game meal, I would do like Chef Rob style. I would do, here's a real easy recipe, right? I would do chicken thighs in the oven, 350 for an hour with salt, pepper, butter, and then I would do a whole bunch of like broccoli and mix it with a bunch of different veggies and maybe a little bit of rice. That's a really good example of a good healthy post game meal. So yeah, I would just try to eat healthy. I try to tell people the best advice that I got, and it happened late in life, was stay out of the middle aisle of the grocery aisle. Stay out of the middle aisles. Like only shop on the outside, so that way you get your veggies, your lean meats, things like that. And if you eat well after games, it's gonna fuel you for the next night. So that's what I would say as far as meals go. All right. What else? We got Jeremy Klimchuk. What AHL teams did I play for? So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to remember all of them, but I played for the Lowell Lock Monsters, Binghamton Senators, Toronto Marlies, Iowa Chops, Syracuse Crunch. I think that might be it. There might be one more I'm forgetting. I went to Hershey Bears training camp one year. Oh man, that was crazy. But yeah, those are the teams I played for. Mostly I was in the ECHL for the Reading Royals, and I played 4 years. Thanks, man. Tigrill1234 said, I'm looking for purple or with red or red with purple. Sorry, man. I don't have purple with red or red with purple as of yet, but stay tuned. AAA Barnish19 said, what made you start your company that you call Buttendz today? So kind of answered that for the other guy, but again, it's just, I don't even know how the name came to my head, but I thought it was cool, and then I added the Z for a little attitude. And for me, it was all about, really, it was knowing that there was an opportunity to help improve the hockey stick, knowing that it was out there, because the stick evolved, but everybody was still using the same tape to hold their stick, right? So I was like, okay, there's an opportunity to improve it, and if we can build a company out of it, let's go for it, let's try it. Most people thought I was crazy. It was pretty cliche. Like everybody thought there was no business idea. It was just like, and even some of my peers, like who I told about the business, they were like, I don't know, man. I don't think that's gonna work. So here we are, man. So, let me see. What is my favorite quote? That's a really good question. I don't want to screw it up. So, one of them that I've been using, I actually wrote it on my wall, is calm is contagious, but I don't remember exactly who said the quote. Maybe I'll put it in the video once I go to post it. I'll put it in there. But yeah, calm is contagious. That's huge. I think there's something really true about that, and I started trying to implement it in my own life and in my own business and career. And it's, when things get crazy and things get nuts, if you behave in a calm attitude, it affects other people, and it definitely helps the situation a lot. So to be a leader, I think it's very important to stay calm, and realize that everything is happening for a reason, and everything is you have to look at every opportunity, everything that comes about, even bad situations, as an opportunity to create things and do good things. So remain calm. So calm is contagious. And then another one that's living out on the edge is important. I don't know the exact quote, but living out on the edge is important because you see all kinds of different things that you can't see from the center. And I know that was Kurt Vonnegut. That's another quote that I kind of live by, where it's like, be a little drastic in your life and take chances. So that was M. Goroski 3. Sorry if I screwed your name up, man. All right, here we go. Admirals Player 2 said, how did Buttendz start? Okay, cool. I mean, how can I answer it differently? Basically, how did Buttendz start? So I had the idea, like I said, in 2006. 2013 came along. My partner Kev came to me, said we should do this together. I thought it was awesome. Kev's the smartest dude I know. He wants to build it with me. Boom. So basically what we did was, the idea was, all right, Rob, I've got the hockey credentials, right? I'm the expert. I got to build something that I would like. Okay, so what we did was like, all right, let's build something for you and see if we could sell it. That was really the idea. So we started from scratch. We designed the flux. We found a manufacturer. We got samples made. The samples came in. We made a quick. The best part about it was that when we got the samples, that it worked. It was a goofy looking product, but it actually worked. And we just made a little edit. The second round of samples came back, and I had it on my stick, and I was like, man, I put it on, and I used it, and I was like, wow, it's sick. Like, right away, I loved the feel. I loved everything about it. It just felt amazing, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. I can sell this. And that was pretty much it. So we started like that. And then after I had it, we had like maybe a dozen samples. I texted my buddy Prusty, who at the time was playing for Montreal, and met him in Philly night before a game, gave him the samples. He used them in Philly the next night, and boom, we had a guy in the NHL using Buttendz. We didn't even have any grips. I gave them all to Prust. So that's kind of how it got started, and then we went from there. Team Illinois 81. How do you start Buttendz? So I'll just say I just answered that, but I'll try to think of some other details if you want. I don't know. Kearney, no, that's not a question. Will _ Grant 81. What was your most favorite hockey team you ever played on? Wow, blast from the past. Good question, man. I probably have a couple. I had a sick career, going all over the place and playing on hard teams. I definitely had fun as a kid playing for the Buffalo Regals in the Pee Wee tournament. I loved my junior B career. After high school, I went and played a year of junior B out in Boston. It was the only team that would take me, basically. It was my last opportunity, really, to do anything in hockey, and I went out and played junior B in Boston and had an awesome year with a great group of guys, and like we lived on our own, so it was like right out of high school, living on your own, grinding out in the junior level, and playing some great hockey with some great guys, who I still talk to some of them to this day. So that was an awesome year. And then, of course, I had a couple good years at Merrimack, which were so much fun playing Division I hockey. Especially my freshman, sophomore year, we were really competitive. We were a really good team with a great older group of guys, good leaders. And I would say those 2 years were amazing. And yeah, I'd say those are probably my favorite teams ever. It's cool. So what do we got? When did you start playing hockey? Says Robbie Scoot. I started playing, I think, when I was around 5 in Buffalo, New York. My father came up to me and asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, yeah, everybody's playing hockey. It's Buffalo. So I started playing at 5, and I've never stopped ever since then. Oh, what was your favorite part about the Pee Wee Quebec tournament this year? Yeah, that's sweet. And like I just mentioned, the Quebec tournament as one of my favorite experiences as a young 12, 13-year-old kid. But now I get to go back there and basically be a vendor and sell Buttendz and represent my company and do that in that environment is the most rewarding experience ever. I've done 3 years in a row at the Pee Wee tournament. This will be year 4, hopefully. And every year has been so amazing. The first year we went, they had Le Colisée, and then they built the Videotron, Center Videotron, and last year I had the opportunity to set up right in the concourse of the Center Videotron where all the action is on opening weekend. And it's such a rewarding experience to be there, with a product that you created and that you believe in and that you're trying to sell to other people and have them buy into it. And like, it's so intense and so awesome and invigorating to do that. And I get to see hockey players from all over the world, and have conversations with guys and really get to know players like that are in their career, that they're striving to be somebody, and I get to at least have some sort of impact on them, either whether or not they use Buttendz or just come up and hang out and talk about hockey and stuff. It's such a rewarding experience, and it's really so much fun as a hockey player to do that. So that would definitely be it. That was from Michael Lanes. And I got a selfie from the boys from the Junior Sabres. And those guys are beauties. And I'm going to screenshot that and put it on Insta. Who was my idol growing up? Good question from Ryan Nolan 19. So my 2 favorite players, I'll probably just say that. So my favorite player was Ray Bourque. I was a defenseman, and my dad took me to the Bruins game at the Boston Garden when I was, I don't even remember, maybe 12, and I became a huge Bruins fan, and Ray Bourque was my favorite defenseman. Left shot, I was a left shot, offensive guy, but just a stud. And so Ray Bourque was somebody who I idolized as a player. And then also Teemu Selanne was my favorite player. The Finnish Flash, I just loved everything about him. I remember when he scored 76 as a rookie. I remember when he got traded to Anaheim, and I used to wear 13 and 8 through my career because of him, and he was my favorite. My father worked for a Finnish company, and they sponsored Timu, and so one year I got lucky. I forget exactly how old I was, but my dad took me to Boston. After the game, we had dinner with Timu, and it was just an epic experience, and he was the coolest guy ever. And so that's it. Once that happened, he's my favorite player of all time. So good question, buddy. All right. What teams did you play for in New Hampshire? So I don't think I played for any teams in New Hampshire, but I played against UNH. I played against Laconia in Junior B. I played against who's the other? Manchester Monarchs in the American League. And I also lived in New Hampshire for that one season when I played Junior B hockey. We had a little apartment at Hampton Beach, New Hampshire that the boys stayed in, and drove an hour to practice every day. So that's pretty much my experience with New Hampshire hockey from Cyclones_88. All right, here we go. Can you keep the stick butt end in with the Buttendz? Yes, you can. I don't particularly recommend just leaving it in the way it comes, because they always put those caps in super loose. So you can either glue them in, and there's a video on YouTube. If you type in Buttendz cap on YouTube, you'll see a video I made of like how to put the caps in better. Or I would just remove the caps altogether and just go flush to the top of the stick and just have it opening. But that's just me. But yeah, you can, and that's B Schumann 99. Okay, we got John Klein. Is selling Buttendz your primary job? Yes, this is my full-time job. This is what I do. I'm the owner of Buttendz, and that's all I do every single day is try to grow Buttendz and sell them. It's a good question. Here we go. What's a few ways to find funding for your company? That's a really good question. So we're self-funded, okay? So we started our business with our own money. We borrowed a little bit of money from family to get started at the very beginning. And I had savings in my account, and my partner also brought in some savings. So we started our company basically with a really small amount of money. I don't really know. The best ways to find funding for your company is talk about your idea, call people on the phone, tell people what you want to do, and see if you can create some excitement and somebody that wants to come in and give you money to do things. That's not really how we started our business, so I'm not really the best person to ask for that, but that would be my advice. If you have an idea for a company and you're looking for funding, you need to tell people about your idea. You need to sell them on the idea. You need to make it a reason for somebody to take out their hard-earned money and give it to you because they believe in what you do. So that would be my advice. But yeah, again, you can start your company without funding. You can just, you can save your own money and start from scratch. And that's a good way too. From CM Kersey. So Cole MS 8191. How long did it take to make the first Buttendz grip? Well, it's kind of a tough question. Like I said earlier, we started the idea early, and then it took a couple years to get going. But once we started going, okay, let's do that. Like once we said, okay, we're going to build the product, it took us about, I want to say, 4 to 5 months to have a sample ready. That's how long it took us to make the first one. Yeah, I think that's right. Halsey03 said, "Did you ever think you would be here as a kid?" This is an awesome question because no, I didn't. I had no idea. I did not know about anything as a kid. Honestly, as a kid, I wanted to just play. I wanted to play college hockey, and I wanted to play in the NHL. And to be honest with you, I wasn't one of those kids that everybody's like, "Oh, he's a stud. He's gonna make it." I was good, but not that good. But I just thought that I would make it. I don't know what it was, but I'm going to play in the NHL someday. And to be honest with you, that dream was alive all the way up until the very end of my career when I got hurt. And I never made it to the NHL. But now, I started Buttendz, and I do this, and I'm in the hockey world, and it's the coolest experience ever. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. But no, I didn't really know I would be here. I just knew that I wanted to do something great in hockey, and I believed that I would. And yeah, that's it. Awesome question. Nope, he doesn't need tape either. Sick. All right, let's see what we got. How many more do we have here? A couple more. Ryan Rogers 1097 said, "How much did you train for hockey as a kid?" I started working out, I think, when I was 14 years old. That's when I started lifting weights for hockey, so I would say that's pretty much it. But I didn't train well. I don't know. I worked out a lot, I guess, but I guess I could have done more. But of course, you never know when you're a kid exactly. It's hard. I remember being a kid and not really having any clue what what I was doing or what you're doing out there. My advice, again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, just get really good at pull-ups, push-ups, body squats. Make sure you're stretching, and try to get on a good diet. I know that's tough too because you're surrounded by people that, maybe don't know what a good diet is, or maybe you don't know. Yeah, just get really good at pull-ups, push-ups, body squats, become a really good stretcher, work really hard, and that's all you need to do. When the training is going to be taken care of when you get to the higher level by professionals, okay? So your coach, your trainer in the locker room, they're going to have programs for you. They're going to teach you how to do things when you get there. So you need to just worry about your hockey game and take care of your body, like I said before, and then it'll work itself out. Don't get too hung up on your training, I don't think. Good question. Louis_Romeo98 said, "What is your most favorite thing about Buttendz?" It has to be, and then he said, meeting new people, traveling. Yeah, I would say that's probably the most favorite thing. Honestly, the best part about having Buttendz is the fact that it's my own company, so I get to do whatever I want every single day, and I get to work on projects that I like and enjoy, and I get to be in hockey and be surrounded by hockey people, and I get to go to the rink and try to take videos and go watch games, and it matters for work. That's really the most rewarding thing. But honestly, just going to the rink this morning, I'm at the Harbor Center, and a bunch of guys, Junior Sabres guys, local Buffalo guys, "Hey Rob, what's up Rob, how you doing?" And came run up, high-fiving me, saying hello, and they know who I am. That's honestly the most rewarding thing. It's the sickest thing. I love it. It's so cool, and I'm so grateful that gets to happen. And I just hope that we can continue to grow and help hockey players and inspire people, and hopefully you guys like the product. So that's the best thing about it. That's it, guys. That's what I got. Those are Ask Me Anything. I really appreciate all the snaps that came in. If you guys ever have any questions about anything at all, you can always message me on Snapchat, Instagram. It's all at Buttendz. I'm available for it to talk about anything. If you guys want to talk about life, business, hockey, whatever you want to know, hit me up, let me know. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want me to do more of these or if you like this. And thanks for tuning in.